Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. There is so much going on right now, not just in crypto, but just in general. I'm just keying in on crypto at the moment. So Bitfinex, major holder, major player in the centralized exchange place or space rather, they successfully raised 5.2 million USDT through a tokenized bond issuance. That is huge. That equates to about $5.2 million. Tether is, tied to the dollar or pegged to the dollar. So that's actually huge. Not just that they raised the money, but the how. How they raise the money is a big deal. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that in that space. This is why you see so many banks going after DeFi, and it's because there's money to be made and they're all preparing for huge tokenization. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that actually plays out. WalletConnect has a new Web3 roadmap, and what they're aiming for is even more decentralization. That's big, because the more decentralized the project is, the less that, one person or a group of people can control that particular project. And that means the public at large would be controlling the project through their interactions. That's actually a big deal, and I kind of like that. I have used WalletConnect in the past. I am not being paid by them or anything else, but I do like what they're doing with that roadmap. I think that's pretty cool. What is not cool? Google knows that there is a deep fake video. I've seen it, I want to say, minimum of 9 times on YouTube. And the first time I heard it, I'm thinking, wow, that really does sound like Brad Garlinghouse. I didn't see it because I wasn't holding my phone in my hand at that moment. And then he was talking about, oh, there's a huge giveaway. And I stopped right there. Stopped dead in my tracks right there, because there is no huge giveaway. It was a deep fake, and a serious deep fake. Like serious. I mean, the quality of it was pretty high. It would take a discerning eye to actually be able to figure out that that's a deep fake, unless you were paying attention. But those that are naive to the space would have listened to this, would have sent in their XRP, right? Hoping that it would get doubled, with this new offering. That's not going to happen. That's not the way it works. But Google won't take it down, right? They're letting it fly. And I'm like, it's a deep fake. The people that are running this ad are definitely impersonating someone, but they still refuse to bring it down. And I'm trying to understand why. When you're born, do you not own your likeness? Right? I can understand when you play sports, sometimes you sign away rights, or you say that your likeness can be used in other ways, that's great. But in this case, that's not what happened. It is not what happened. And Google and YouTube, they're not taking that ad down. And it's an ad. Think about that. It's an ad. Somebody paid for that. There is an account that's linked to it. I don't know. There's got to be a moment, there's got to be a time where greed can't win. And I'm just trying to figure out when that time is. Just trying to figure that out. Before you people start talking nonsense, yes, I know I need to shave. I haven't shaved yet. I normally don't shave until like the day before Christmas. After I've shaved, once. Just because there's tons of running around, all that good stuff, and I got a lot of work to do. We're still doing stuff on growmybag.tv, always adding articles, shooting videos, just doing a ton of stuff. Anywho, something that I found interesting, and it's going to sound like it has nothing to do with investing or crypto, but it does. If you pay attention, it does. The UK has come out, a judge said, no. If you have an idea that's brought to you by, artificial intelligence, via artificial intelligence, no, we're not going to issue a patent, period. And a lot of people are going to be sitting there going, whoa, now that's interesting, because you can go either way. I can make an argument on either side, right? But the truth is that you didn't come up with it. A person didn't come up with it. Artificial intelligence did. Now, a person could have helped artificial intelligence get there, but they didn't do it. And the reason why I'm talking about artificial intelligence is because when you look at everything that's going on in the metaverse and just in general, anything that's virtual, right? There's artificial intelligence. So any event that happens in that space is most likely going to affect the cryptoverse or possibly even other investments that you have. Right? So I say this to have you pay attention to what's going on with artificial intelligence. You have articles being written right now that are leveraging artificial intelligence to predict coin movement. Right? And that's what I found to be interesting. So, artificial intelligence says, Bard says, this coin is going to go up, this coin is going to fall, yada, yada, yada. And you kind of need to pay attention to that. It's sort of like when, back in the day you traded stocks, you didn't have a lot of computers actually trading stocks. You had human beings trading stocks. And that doesn't happen a lot anymore, does it? The greater percentage, clearly, of all the trades that are going on are machine driven, right? They might be pre-programmed, but it's kind of artificial intelligence. And then you also do have artificial intelligence doing things for you. You give it a few parameters, it runs with those parameters, does a whole bunch of calculations, executes. Done. I have a friend that's building one right now. He's like a brother to me. Elliot is building a bot right now that will, based on certain parameters, make moves for you. Right? The next step in the roadmap is, great, we're going to take these parameters, give it to AI, and have AI tell us what moves it's going to make or what moves should be made, and then go make the moves. Take that a step further. It's going to be able to do a look back on the history of my trades, the history of trades of others, and go forward and look at things. Just artificial intelligence in general. Pay attention to what's going on in the space, because you can use it for your own good, and you could also hurt yourself with it. So just like with other investments, I tell you, do your own research. What's next? Sandbox and their local arm, BharatBox, have a roadmap that's saying we're going to make India its largest market. And that kind of makes sense, right? Given the number of people that live in India, the capabilities of those people, the education, just everything that goes on in India. Yeah, India's caught up in a major fashion to the rest of the world over all these years. 90% of the technology that's done, I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff that's done where India is involved or somebody from India is involved. So to have a kind of bright area, and when I say bright, I mean it as a compliment. I mean that the people of India as a whole, is brighter than, right? I just want you to think about that. Brighter than. And they are interested in everything that's going on in crypto. So if you have a place like Sandbox, you can have all these games, this huge metaverse, and there you go. I'm just saying, there's going to be a lot going on in the space. When I look at crypto, it's all about adoption. Adoption will come faster through gaming. Gaming is going to happen in the metaverse, period. Now, it sounds funny and people kind of scratch their heads when they think about that idea. But the truth is that when you first got out there, right, and, started really using computers, one of the things that teachers would have you do is play games on the computer. People didn't understand how to use a mouse. This is why they had you play games, because you had to move around, click things, do things, type things. So they had you play games. And now everybody knows how to use a computer, right? I mean, even in its most basic, basic use cases. So when you think about crypto adoption, that's where it's going to happen. That's how adoption is going to go big. And you need to pay attention to that, because there are opportunities that you can leverage to make money if you're paying attention. There are a lot of really good games that are already out there. There are a lot of good metaverses that are already out there. Go explore, go do your own research, and go figure out where you think you want to be with your investments. As a matter of fact, I ask you, come over to growmybag.tv, drop me a note. Just drop a note to the community and be like, hey, I was looking at, saw this game, saw this new service. Let's all grow together. Let's take all of our research and try to share it with each other. Just an idea. And now, this last piece, I was unable to get it into the Crypto Minute. This last one is actually kind of a big deal. It's another blow against the SEC. The SEC has had problems. They don't know how to win. Companies used to have to publish their repurchase data, repurchasing of stocks on a quarterly basis. Courts just knocked that down. So what, over the course of a year now, I guess they'll have to do that. But quarterly, they don't have to do that. They're saying it's burdensome, all that other good stuff. And I'm sitting back and I'm just going, yeah, that's interesting. People don't normally pay attention to things like that, but they should. They really, really should. Sometimes you get a little tidbit that tells you how things are going to happen and how they're going to play out in the future. So here's a scenario. Company A comes out and they say they've got a new stock repurchase plan, right? We're going to buy back this number of shares. Stock goes careening up. Settles back down a little bit, but it goes up. When did they report? When was the last time they reported on what that repurchase plan was? They used to have to do it on a quarterly basis to the SEC, which means it's public information, which means it's out there. Now what? Now you've got to wait a year to see if it actually happened. You have to see if they're actually going to be, waiting until the end of the year and do it in one big chunk. If they're going to do it on a monthly basis, you have no idea. So imagine they do it on a quarterly basis, on a regular time schedule. They get the bump and it comes up, you get the pullback, and then they get another bump when they report because they're on track. See what I mean? How now would you be able to say this company is on track to do so? They've fallen behind. Why did they fall behind? They were supposed to buy X number, this past quarter. They didn't. Because the initial press release makes you think, oh, this is how they're going to do it, blah, 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 blah. Great. But then they don't do it. They don't stick to it. But now you won't know that because they don't have to release on a quarterly schedule. Just saying. Little things like that can make a difference as to how a company plays out. Maybe they didn't do the repurchase this quarter because they needed the money because they had a write-off, or they had a write-down rather, and just something happened. That would tell you something, would be a monitor for you. So you have to pay attention to all these little things. The same way I tell people you have to pay attention to how much used cars are. You have to pay attention to how much debt is on the retail person, right? On the regular person, because they might still be spending, but whose money are they spending? Are they buying more on credit? Have they pulled back from, the unnecessary things on credit and buying necessary things on credit? Are they carrying larger credit? It's little things like that you should be paying attention to, which is why I bring you news that tells you some of these little things. Because it kind of gears you up for, let's say, you have the Fed talking about, oh, we're going to raise rates, oh, we're going to lower rates. You would already have an idea about what's going on because you were paying attention to the news that preceded that. That's why I'm able to say, yeah, I don't think we're going to be raising rates, come January, come February, come first quarter. I don't think we're raising rates. I think we'll remain steady. Right? What about second quarter? Can't see that far yet. Really depends to me on how many companies are actually going to be going through layoffs between now and end of first quarter. That's the number one thing I'm looking at. Second thing I'm looking at, how much debt is the regular person holding? How much outstanding credit do they have month over month? Those are things that I'm looking for, because in the broader picture, that's going to tell me what the economy is looking at. Just saying, it's little things that you pay attention to. It's little things that you pay attention to that can tell you big stories. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto for Grow My Bag TV. If you like what I'm doing, drop me a note. I would greatly appreciate it. If you don't like what I'm doing, do me a favor, drop me a note. Tell me how I can make it better. And by the way, visit growmybag.tv. We have a lot of things going on over there. I think the last count was we have over 1,300 articles, videos, written articles, all that good stuff going on. And we're still adding on a daily basis. Anyway, I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.